Even if something's expensive, it can still look cheap. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking all about things that make a home look cheap and some easy, simple, and creative ways to fix them. Now, we've got a lot to get through, so let's get into the video. Because being beautiful is my brand. Now, the first topic we have to discuss, and you all comment all of the time on every one of these things that make your home look cheap videos, is a messy home. A clean home is a luxurious one, and that always makes a space look and feel beautiful, no matter what the style is, no matter how expensive or inexpensive something is. If it's clean, it always looks better. It just allows the space to speak because I'm seeing the wood, I'm seeing the surface, the finish, the material, the fabric, instead of the dust on that. And look for those detailed areas that need that deep cleaning on a regular basis. Dust the baseboards. It makes a bigger difference than you think. If you are in the position where you're like, Garrett, my house is a lot to keep up with, I actually just recommended in a home hacks video that you break up your cleaning schedule into 1 hour a day. That way it's broken up over time and your home is constantly in a state of being cleaned. That always makes it easier to take care of a space. But if you've got a lot going on and you're like, honey, I can't even do that, consider bringing in a cleaning person or company at quarterly intervals throughout the year. That way you are only maintaining the deep clean that they did. And get the kids, get your spouse enlisted in the maintenance of the space, because if they're the ones making the mess, they better learn to clean it too. The next thing that makes a home look cheap and is an easy area to address is everything matching. And I'm not just talking about the matching set of furniture. We've talked about it, we've said it, we know that, we're moving on from it. I'm talking about color, fabric, and finishes and wood tones. You do not want all of them in the space to match, even if they're supposed to be the same color. For example, in my studio here, I have off-white walls, off-white drapes, and off-white sofa. They're all slightly different variations on off-white. That way they build and layer and they create a depth to them. Because when everything is one color, the perfect match, you almost get a monotone space. It's very bland and it feels like it's staged. It feels like you went out and just were like, oh, yep, they have all of that and it's all the same fabric from the same collection. We're gonna get it and put it in and that's that. It doesn't look like there's effort applied to that situation. And the same thing goes for wood tones. Mix 2 or even 3 together. Do a slight variation on one from another. If they have a slightly different base tone, there's going to be a layer there. It looks interesting, it looks different, and it's not overly staged. It looks like it has character. And that's what you want for your space in your home. So no, don't get the matching set and mix and curate some different things together, even if the wood tone and the fabric is not exactly the same. It builds a layer and it builds depth to the space. It gives it a lot of character, and that always makes a home look cultivated, look beautiful, and look luxurious, and it's definitely not something that looks cheap. The next thing that makes a home look cheap, and you will all agree with me, are the printed accent pillows. Now, I'm not talking about designer fabrics. These typically are created using a proprietary blend of fibers to create a base fabric, and then there'll be a really beautiful pattern printed on them. Take that, set it aside, because that's a very luxurious finish because you can layer some different patterns together, and I love that for you. I'm talking about the pillows that it's like a printed little picture of something, or it's like a little picture of a ring, or a little saying, a little quote, a little this or that. No, I don't like it. I don't like that at all. As a matter of fact, I did a Amazon home decor review video where I showed a pillow that had a denim pocket. And everyone was like, that's such a cute idea, I love the pocket. It wasn't a real pocket. It was a picture of a pocket printed on a pillow. Makes no sense. Not something that feels luxurious, that feels beautiful or upgraded, elevated. Look for an actual patterned pillow. And that doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to get a super luxurious designer fabric to get that look. You can find some things at stores, and there are lots of smaller companies of seamstresses that are making pillows or making curtains or drapes or whatever you are looking for your space. You can find those patterns really affordably, or you can just layer some different fabrics together, like a velvet, like a boucle pillow, or like a Sherpa moment. Love that. Layering those together always looks more luxurious than just having a pillow that has like a printed little thing on it. Now, the next thing that makes a home look cheap and also kind of makes a home look a little bit dated is the carpet set into tiles. Now, you know what I mean by it's a little bit dated. It's kind of like the valance or a wallpaper border. Like, we used to do it, but today in 2022, it honestly looks like you ran out of tile and you got a good deal on it and couldn't find more of it because it got discontinued. So you were like, just throw some carpet in the empty spot. Now, that can be a very expensive fix because flooring is expensive. And there are some ways you can get creative to overcome that. If you have a natural stone floor, you can usually find more of that natural stone. However, patching into flooring is kind of a very detailed job, and I do recommend you get a real artisan involved in that, someone that is very skilled at their craft and tiling, because it's not something for the DIYer. I've done it before, and I've actually had this incredibly talented artisan who literally flies around the country and does all of this work. And let me tell you what, honey, if you could do tile in a 5-star hotel, you could do it in my home. That's for sure. But sometimes you have to get creative because that's not an option. You may be able to find a similar tile in a different size, create a border and inset the tile into that. Something else that's also really creative is to do a wood inlaid lattice effect with tile and wood. That's a cool way to fill in that spot. It still gives that carpet-like effect where you have the like outline of the living space, but I actually really like that and it looks really good. It's a beautiful detail to layer in. I also know that some of you are gonna be like, Garrett, we're at the interim point where we've got it and we're waiting to change out the floors. Take the time, save up to do the job right, because it's not easy. It is labor intensive, but it definitely makes a big impact not to have carpet inset into tile. Now, if you are planning on doing a large renovation, be sure you filter through and look at some of my renovation videos. That way you can get a really good idea on some of the fine-tuned details that designers really look out for and like to incorporate into a home. I think getting rid of the inset carpet makes a huge difference because I'm not a person that likes carpet, especially with my dogs. Speaking of which, where is the baby Albert? There he is. It's baby time. Now, Albert and I know that every channel asks you to subscribe, and that's because our subscribers are the most important part of our channel. And why should everyone subscribe, Albert? Well, that's because we consistently bring you useful, fun, and interesting content that is worthy of your time. We also don't load our videos down trying to sell you any and everything under the sun, because it's really important and we appreciate your support. So please take a moment while I give Albert some kisses to hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell notification to get notified every time we upload. Okay, little one, we're gonna let you go and get back to the video. The next thing that makes a home look cheap, in my opinion anyway, is flat pack everything. Now, I am not mad at some flat pack furniture pieces, and you know what I'm talking about, like the big stores where you get everything in cardboard boxes and you assemble it yourself. I love a puzzle, I love a challenge, I think that's fun. But having flat pack everything looks kind of like you bought it all at a store, you went to one trip and you were like, we're gonna furnish and get everything all at once. Layer in some pieces that are antiques, that are vintage, and that might be a chair or a small table that are easy to move. Because a lot of times with the more flat pack furniture is with people that move a lot. Like if you're living in New York, you probably move to a different part of the city every year to experience something different. I think that's great and I love that. Layering in some pieces that have some substance to them, that are firm, that are solid, that are built, that are beautiful, will always make the space feel more curated, more luxurious, more substantial. And I love that. Mixing two different pieces together, something that is flat pack and something that is vintage or antique, always looks very luxurious, a little bit eclectic and beautiful, and you can find pieces that really speak to your specific style. Maybe that's a vintage designer piece, or maybe it's just something you found at an antique store and you're like, that's cute, it's for me, it looks good, it works, I like that, love that for you. Because layering modern and more traditional pieces, new and old, always makes a space look curated, it makes it look authentic, and it makes it have personality. It reflects the person that lives there, and that's the most important thing in your space. Mix in new and old flat pack and pre-assembled furniture together because it makes a space look more luxurious, more beautiful, and more expensive. The next thing that makes a home look cheap and also kind of makes a home look a little bit crazy is the 5,000 Kelvin light bulb. Now there is a time and a place for every color of light, but 5,000 Kelvin is that like cool white light that's like glaring, that's a little bit like, whoa, you don't want that throughout your entire house. You all know when you walk down the street, you're walking on the sidewalk and you see someone's windows with the light pouring out and it's like that crazy color, you're like, who lives there? What is going on? You wanna have a little bit of warmth to your lighting. And depending on the type of light, if you have lamps or if you have an overhead light, you have recessed light, you want them to be different shades. So maybe like a 2700 for a lamp, and your chandelier can have a 3000 Kelvin light, and then maybe your recessed light's 4. That way you have layered lighting, you can use them for different tasks or at times. But the 5,000 Kelvin light that's like all white is just so much, it's so harsh, and it's really intended for use in more commercial spaces. And you don't want your home to look like a hospital or like an office building, or maybe you do and you're a workaholic, and darling, I love that for you, but that's not me, it's not comfortable for most people. I like to see a slightly warmer tone of lighting. Make your space feel more comfortable, because the 5,000 Kelvin light, gonna be honest, when you have them all over the place, it looks to me like you went to the store and you were like, oh, look at this one has the shortest lifespan, and it's also the cheapest, and it's on sale. Let's get that. And it was like the crazy white light. Especially when you have like mixed lighting together, when you have the warm light and then the cool light, no. Absolutely not. It's like a trip that I don't want to go on. I don't want to be there. I'm going to come back to my house where I can actually relax and luxuriate, because no, I don't have crazy lighting. Now, the next thing that makes a home look cheap is that industrial office furniture. I do not like that. I do not like that at all. It looks like it came from a office supply store. It's not giving what we need. There needs to be a certain amount of layering with this. Very industrial furniture that's like raw steel mixes really beautifully with vintage and more rustic primitive wood pieces, but having that like metal office desk look, it's like giving a cubicle. That's not what you want in your home. It's not what we need. We need to upgrade. We need to do something beautiful, because if you're in the situation where you are working from home, where you're studying for school, where, I don't know, you're just doing stuff or whatever at your desk, you need a space that's beautiful, because that inspires you. It makes you more comfortable. And maybe also think about the background, because if you're doing those Zoom calls from home, honey, I will be looking in the background. I want to see what's going on. What is the lighting like? Get it together, get it right, because I need beauty in my life, and everything needs to be beautiful, including your workstation. The next thing that makes a home look cheap, and you all know and agree with me, and we're calling it out and we're just going to be done with it at this point, is the wall decal. Now, we talk about signs that say little inspirational quotes. I've told you before, I'm a Scorpio. It doesn't work on me and I don't need to see it. But the wall decal is something completely different. This is not at the level of like, oh, it's a sign and it's a little inspirational moment. This is a sticker. It's a sticker. We don't need to be putting stickers on our walls. That's for like the kids' bedroom. You could get a decal of their favorite little superhero or whatever. But in our homes where the adults are, we don't need stickers on the wall. The reason most people opt for the wall decal, in my opinion, is that you have difficult areas that need a piece of art or that need filling. Kind of like, I see this above doors and windows a lot. I see this above archways. I also feel like I see this a lot in spaces with vaulted ceilings. And that's because they require larger scale pieces of artwork to fill them. Look for creative ideas. Maybe you look for a mirror that has a little decorative ornate detail at the top that mimics the shape of that vaulted ceiling, or raise your drapery a little bit higher to fill in the space above a window. Something else you can also consider is maybe doing a collage of artwork or a gallery wall with family photos. That's something that makes a space look like people live there. It looks like it makes sense. It's not just a sign that says like family, live, laugh, love. Or I went somewhere the other day that had a wall decal that said like, only the best can beat you. That's a threat. You want something that speaks to the space, speaks to what you're doing there or your family, that can remind you of a beautiful moment other than just like reading or words. That's not luxurious to most anybody. It's just a filler piece. And you don't ever want that in your home. You don't want to have the mentality of, I need to find something to go there and as long as it fits, it's fine. Because that just feeds into a cycle of replacing things and getting rid of things and upgrading and this and that. And is not really environmentally friendly or sustainable to have that mentality. Now, the next thing that makes a home look cheap is the giant leaning television. Now, nobody is mad at a giant TV. I mean, darling, I hope you're watching me on it in 4K. Love that for you taking in all of this. But the issue is when the giant TVs are hung high and they're leaning, because when you walk into a space and there's like this giant leaning TV in front of you, like you just see the back and the side of a TV. It's probably a little bit dusty, not great, not luxurious. It's giving like, we only sit and watch TV in this house. And you may only do that, and that's great. Maybe you watch YouTube and it's a little GarrettLeChic moment, and I love that for me. We don't need to say to people, this is all we do. And there's ways you can get creative and still have the big theater-sized TV and make a space look beautiful. If you are in the position where your TV is hung very high, consider lowering it. If you drop it down, it probably won't need to be angled and it can sit flush. That's always a great way to take the bulk out of the space and have it be a little bit more recessed. If the television is hung above a fireplace and it has to be up high and angled so you can see it, a way you can get creative is to actually have a frame built out of crown molding. I've done that before and it actually looks really beautiful because you get a gradual kind of step up to the full depth of the TV and it takes the edge off a little bit. Plus, you can paint this or stain it to match the wood or the paint color in your home. That way it's not as distracting. I like that, and it's better than the kind of recessed in the drywall thing that we were doing for a while, because as you get a new TV, they slightly change sizes and then you're stuck with a box that doesn't fit or make sense or the TV doesn't fit in. Nobody wants that. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments section down below, and I want to hear from my subscribers. What is that one item, that one thing that is just everywhere that you're like, ugh, no, I can't stand seeing it because it looks cheap? I also know that you know someone that they have got a lot of this mess going on. They've got decals on the wall and a giant TV. It's a mess, and you don't want to be the one to tell them it's a mess, but I don't have a problem being that person. Share this video with them because friends help friends. And I will see you in the next one.